15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikunle Amosu.
Welcome to Celebration Television News Desk. I am Belly Squetta, and thanks for joining us today on the News Desk. Now the news making the rounds. NECO releases results, 233,000 candidates to retake missed subjects. Uganda hit by internet blackout on eve of election. Trump impeached for inciting U.S. Capitol riot. NIN deadline stands as NCC awaits government's advice. And Ronald Koeman hails fantastic Ter Stegen after Barcelona win. Stay with us as the details of the news come after the break. Welcome back. Now the news in details. COVID-19 vaccine, Lagos Oyo plan purchase Ogun Cross River, Benue Fort allocations. The Nigerian Medical Association, the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, and a coalition of labor and civil society organizations, the Alliance for the Survival of COVID-19 and Beyond, have advised the federal government to ensure transparency in the distribution of COVID-19 vaccines. The NMA, the NANNM, and the ASCAB, in an interview on Wednesday, said priority should be given to frontline health workers underaged during the vaccination of Nigerians against the deadly coronavirus. The group said this in Ogun, Oyo, and Cross River states faulted the number of COVID-19 doses allocated to them by the federal government. On its part, the Benue State government said the issue of allocation of COVID-19 vaccine doses ought to have been discussed at the Nigerian Governors Forum. But Lagos and Oyo states stated that they planned to buy COVID-19 vaccines. And all the states said they were not involved in deciding the sharing formula for the vaccine doses. And recall that the federal government had last week said it was expecting 100,000 doses of Pfizer/BioNTech coronavirus vaccines before the end of the month. And the PHCDA at a webinar on Friday released the sharing formula for 100,000 doses of the Pfizer/BioNTech vaccine. And moving forward, NECO releases results, 233,000 candidates to retake missed subjects. The National Examination Council on Wednesday announced the release of the 2020 Senior Secondary School Examination internal results, and by a total of 233,000 candidates who were prevented from taking the NECO examinations in some states due to the NSAS protest would be accommodated in the external examination scheduled for between Monday, February 1st and Wednesday, March 3rd, 2021. The states affected by the protest are Abia, Enugu, Edo, River, Ondo, Ekiti, Osun, Lagos, Oyo, Kano, Ogun, and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The Registrar and the Chief Executive Officer of NECO, Professor Godswill Obioma, gave a breakdown of the results in Mina. The results for the revealed that the number of candidates who made 5 credits and above, irrespective of English language and mathematics, were 1,112,041, representing 91.91%. And this, he said, represented an increase of 2.01% when compared to the 2019 June-July SSC examination. And Obioma said the subjects affected by the NSAS protests were chemistry practicals, economics, technological drawing, food and nutrition, and further mathematics. And according to him, results of the affected candidates will be pending until supplementary exams were conducted for the papers missed. And still in another development, court dismisses suit against Akeredolu, Ajasin's daughter, plans appeal. A federal high court in Abuja has dismissed a suit challenging the validity of the All Progressive Congress primary, which produced Rotimi Akeredolu as an APC candidate for the October 10, 2020 Ondo State's governorship election. And delivering judgment on the suit on Wednesday, Justice ENQUIRY held that the case instituted by Olajumoke Anifowose was not filed within 14 days as was required for the pre-election matters. And the plaintiff had, in a suit filed on the behalf by her lawyer, Adeshina Oke, challenged the indirect mode adopted by the APC for the conduct of the primary, which Akeredolu won. In accordance to her Section 87 of the Electoral Act and Article 20 of the APC Constitution were violated by the party's State Executive Committee and Local Government Committee while conducting the exercise. And she prayed the court to grant an order invalidating the primary election. And Anifowose also prayed the court to stop the Independent National Electoral Commission from recognizing Akeredolu as the APC candidate for the said election. And the plaintiff equally prayed the court to prohibit APC from submitting Akeredolu's name to INEC, and that it should also grant an order barring Akeredolu from parading himself as the APC gubernatorial candidate. Responding to the judgment, the plaintiff in the suit, Mrs. Jumoke Anifowose, showed and she vowed to appeal the ruling. And Anifowose, who is the daughter of the first executive governor of the state, Chief Adekunle Ajasin, while reacting to the judgment in Akure, said she did not file out of time. And on more news coming from around Africa, Sudan says Ethiopia plane crossed border. Sudan's foreign ministry has said an Ethiopian aircraft crossed the border, terming it as a dangerous and unjustified escalation. The ministry said the incidents could have dangerous consequences and cause more tension in the border area. Sudan asked Ethiopia not to repeat such hostilities in the future given the dangerous repercussions. And the two countries have had tension at their borders. Ethiopia's foreign ministry says Sudanese armed forces have pushed into Ethiopian territory, occupying farms and looting properties. Sudan, on its own part, condemned what it termed an aggression by Ethiopia's militia in the Al-Qaresha region in the east. And the two countries share a 750-kilometer border, and conflicts have been common over the decades, particularly along the Al-Fashaga area. The two countries are also separately involved in three-way talks with Egypt over the future of Africa's biggest hydropower dam, the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, being built along the River Nile. And the latest round of talks being mediated by the African Union collapsed on Sunday with no agreements. And still from around Africa, in Uganda hit by internet blackout on eve of election. The authorities in Uganda have cut off internet access in the country as to a hotly contested presidential election, pitting a pop star against one of Africa's longest-serving leaders. Internet monitoring groups NetBlock said on Twitter that the country descended into an internet blackout on Wednesday from 7 p.m. local time. And the blackout came a day after the government ordered a block on all social media and messaging apps. President Yoweri Museveni said this was because Facebook had banned several accounts which backed his ruling party. And pop star turned opposition presidential candidate Bobby Wine has tweeted that the internet shutdown is part of a plot to rig the election. And the people of Uganda are firm and nothing will stop them from ending the oppressive regime, Bobby Wine said. And the polls opened today at 7 a.m. local time with results not expected before Saturday. And the campaign has been marred by serious violence, which has seen a dozen of people killed. Mr. Museveni is seeking his 6th elected term in office after 35 years in power. And we'll go on a short break right now. When we come back, we get more updates from the United States of America. Stay with us.
Enter his presence and be overwhelmed. A command that triggers expectation.
She was pregnant for 8 years. She ran with a word, a prophetic declaration, as Mama declared, and today the baby is here. This is one of the many things the Lord can do. Look at the baby that was held in the womb for 8 years, connecting to this grace. She's standing here with her evidence.
Bringing souls to the kingdom. Get ready for generational impact with Dr. Lizzie Johnson Suleiman.
Power of God! Power of God! Latakata rapata!
At Ibienafe Secondary School Field, South Ibie, Edo State, Nigeria. Date 28 January 2021 at 4 p.m. GMT+1. For inquiries, please call +234 806 464 6180. You are next in line.
Welcome back. Now, news updates from the United States of America. Trump impeached for inciting U.S. Capitol riot. The U.S. House of Representatives have impeached President Donald Trump for incitement of insurrection at the last week's Capitol riot. 10 Republicans sided with the Democrats to impeach the president by 232 voices to 197. But his trial in the Senate will not happen until after Joe Biden, a Democrat, is inaugurated as a new U.S. president next week. Mr. Trump, a Republican, is the first president in the United States of America history to be impeached twice. The Democratic-controlled House voted on Wednesday after 2 hours of impassioned debate, and armed National Guard troops kept watch inside and outside of the Capitol. The FBI has warned of possible armed protests planned for Washington, D.C. and all 50 U.S. state capitals ahead of Mr. Biden's inauguration on January 20th. And in a video released after the vote in Congress, Mr. Trump called on his followers to remain peaceful without mentioning his impeachment. Violence and vandalism have no place in our country. No true supporter of mine would ever endorse political violence, Mr. Trump said, striking a somber and conciliatory tone. And more updates from China. China COVID-19 WHO team probing origin of virus arrives in China. A World Health Organization team has arrived in the Chinese city of Wuhan to start its investigation into the origins of the COVID-19 pandemic. The long-awaited probe comes after months of negotiations between the WHO and Beijing. A group of 10 scientists is set to interview people from research institutes, hospitals, and the seafood markets linked to the initial outbreak. COVID-19 was first detected in Wuhan in late 2019. The team's arrival on Thursday morning, that's today, coincides with a resurgence of new coronavirus cases in northern China, while life in Wuhan is relatively back to normal. And they will undergo 2 weeks of quarantine before beginning their research, which will rely upon samples and evidence provided by Chinese officials. And the probe, which aims to investigate the animal's origin of the pandemic, looks set to begin after some initial hiccups. And earlier this month, the WHO said its investigators were denied entry into China after one member of the team was turned back and another got stuck in transit. But Beijing said it was a misunderstanding and that arrangements for the investigation were still in discussion. China has been saying for months that the outbreak did not originate there. The country has largely brought the virus under control through quick mass testing and stringent lockdowns and tight travel restrictions. But new cases have been resurfacing in recent weeks, mainly in northern Hebei province surrounding Beijing and Heilongjiang province in the northeast. And moving forward now on business news, NIN deadline stands as NCC awaits government's advice. The Nigerian Communications Commission on Wednesday said it was awaiting the advice of the federal government as regards to deadlines for the integration of subscriber identification models with valid national identity numbers. It also stated that the early announced deadlines were still in force despite the clamor for extension or outright suspension of the registration process. And calls for deadline extension were mainly due to the large crowds that gather daily at the various offices of the National Identity Management Commission. And the federal government had declared on December 15, 2020 that after December 30, 2020, all SIMs that were not registered with valid NINs on the network and telecommunications company would be blocked. It later extended the December 30, 2020 deadline following widespread opposition against the early announcement and gave 3 weeks extension for subscribers with NIN from December 30, 2020 to January 19, 2021. And commenting on the development, the National Coordinator Alliance for Affordable Internet, Olushola Teniola, said the massive crowds at the NIMC offices showed that it will be tough to register and integrate all SIMs with valid NINs. And the president of the Association of Telecommunication Companies of Nigeria, Ikechukwu Namani, said it was obvious that the number of persons without NINs was so large. And still on business news, Oshibanjo, Carry and others meet oil majors over the PIB. Vice President Yemi Oshibanjo on Tuesday met with some stakeholders in oil and gas industry in continuation of the federal government's consultation ahead of the passage of the petroleum industry bill currently before the National Assembly. And Oshibanjo's senior special assistant on media and publicity, Laulu Akande, disclosed this in a statement on Wednesday titled Petroleum Industry Bill. We need to produce the largest oil volumes possible at cheaper cost, tells oil and gas stakeholders. And the president of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, has also said on Tuesday that there were forces within and outside the country that will work against the passage of the bill, which President Muhammadu Buhari presented to the National Assembly in September 2020. And the central aim of the bill, which has passed second reading in both the Senate and the House of Representatives, is to foster sustainable development in Nigeria's oil and gas industry. Akande quoted the vice president as urging stakeholders in the oil industry at a virtual meeting to find and agree on cheaper means of producing oil while also ensuring a more competitive environment that meets the needs and imposes purposes for Nigeria, including the largest production volume possible. He identifies the stakeholders that attended the virtual meeting as being under the auspices of the Oil Producers Trade Sector in Nigeria and the Independent Petroleum Producers Group. We're going to another short break. When we come back, we'll get news from the world of sports.
There is a wave of preservation coming to Taraba.
Life, power, in the mighty name of the Lord Jesus. Drop him, leave him, walk, go, let him go, go. Glory!
Generational Impact Taraba 2021 with Apostle Johnson Suleiman.
Be my guest as I come to Wukari, Taraba State on the 15th and 16th of the month of February.
Pastor Courage, clean that man's eye. Just clean his eyes. Clean it, clean it. Your right hand. Let him follow you to me. This way. Whoa! Glory!
God is going to be reaching out to us mightily, and there's going to be a great move of the Spirit of God.
Number 17. Is that your house? Yes, sir. 26 plus 26. How old are you?
15 and 16 February 2021, 7 a.m. and 4 p.m. GMT+1. Happening at GSS Wukari along Ibi Road, Wukari, Taraba State, Nigeria. For inquiries, please call 0706 854 6314 or 0703 289 5750.
I'll see you in Taraba.
O land, be positioned to hear the word of the Lord.
Welcome back now on sports news. Juventus joined Napoli, Inter and AC Milan in Italian Cup quarters. Tunisian midfielder Hamza Rafia came off the bench to score an extra time winner on his debut as Juventus battled past Genoa 3-2 to reach the Italian Cup quarterfinals on Wednesday. Rafia, aged 21 years, came on with quarters of an hour to go in the regular time and scored his first Juventus goal after 105 minutes in Turin. Andrea Pirlo's side had let a 2-goal advantage slip to allow Genoa back into the game. Cristiano Ronaldo started on the bench with forward Alvaro Morata and defender Giorgio Chiellini returning from injury, and Chiellini set up Dejan Kulusevski to open the scoring after 2 minutes in the Allianz Stadium, and Kulusevski then sent through the Morata to double their tally after 23 minutes. But 5 minutes later, Lennart Crisbora headed in to revive Genoa hope. Filippo Melegoni curled in the equalizer from outside the box, beating veteran keeper Gianluigi Buffon with quarter of an hour to go. And Ronaldo came off the bench with 2 minutes to go in the regular time. The Portuguese forward had a role in the winner, sending Morata through to tee up Rafinha, with Brazilians also saving Juventus by heading off the line 3 minutes later. Juventus, the record 13-time winners, next meets either Sassuolo or Spal. And lastly, on the news desk, Ronald Koeman hails fantastic Testegen after Barcelona win. Ronald Koeman was proud of his Barcelona team and in particular goalkeeper Marc-Andre ter Stegen after seeing his men beat Real Sociedad on penalties in semi-finals of the Spanish Super Cup on Wednesday. And a hard-fought game ended all square after extra time. Frankie de Jong headed Barca in front, but a Mikel Oyarzabal penalty leveled it up for La Ria. And Barca went on to win 3-2 in the shootout, and Koeman praised his team performance and his goalkeeper's heroic after the win. And ter Stegen also made 2 saves in the shootout, while substitute Ricky Pick netted the decisive kick to send Barcelona into a final against either Real Madrid or Athletics on Sunday. And that's the size of the news for us today on Celebration Television News Desk. If you're just joining us today, and on the news desk, this is the recap of the news making the headlines. NECO releases results, 233,000 candidates to retake missed subjects. Uganda hit by internet blackouts on eve of the election. Trump impeached for inciting U.S. Capitol riots. NIN deadline stands as NCC awaits government's advice. And Ronald Koeman hails a fantastic ter Stegen after Barcelona win. And today on our photo of the day, you can see that photo. And this photo just tells us that team spirit is knowing and living the belief that what a group of people can accomplish together is much larger and far greater and will exceed what that which an individual can accomplish alone. So make sure you work with a team, and you must not always do everything alone to succeed. Build a team and pursue that which you want to do for you to succeed. All right, you can tell us also your thoughts on the photo of the day today. You can tell us, share with us on our social media platforms. On Facebook, we are Celebration TV. On Instagram, we are My Celebration TV. On Twitter, it's at My Celebration TV. And on YouTube, our YouTube channel is Celebration TV. Your positive contribution to the wellness of the society you find yourself in or the organization you work in defines your leadership might. As an individual who knows what to do and do without expecting to be pushed has backed his way to success. Be it known today that everything we do, think, feel, and believe either have a positive or negative effect on humanity and our national well-being. So be a part of nation building today. My name is Bellis Quetta, and thanks for watching the news on Celebration Television News Desk. Have a great day. Thank you.
To 15.7 trillion naira by the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor Ibikule Amosu